being traded from the Miami Dolphins to the New England Patriots. If you have what he was traded for, I believe it was, you said, a third and a fifth.
Second.
If I remember correct. Oh, second. Oh, man. Okay, I was close.
So Dolphins traded Devante Parker and a 2022 fifth-round pick to the Patriots for a 2023 third-round selection.
Yeah. So, with this, man, obviously we know that the Patriots were one of the 7 teams from the AFC. They got into the postseason. And we've seen a lot of movement, actually, as it pertains to the AFC. Matt Ryan coming over to the Indianapolis Colts, a team that was on the fringe of making the postseason that did not. We know that Russell Wilson has joined the Denver Broncos, another team that, was trying to be in the contention for the playoff spot, and obviously they faltered down the way. But now with Devante being added to the Patriots, what do you think that means for that team right now, man? Do you think that, they've moved up in a sense in terms of, teams that we're going to be competing with for this postseason? Or do you think that it really is not going to have a move because of Mac Jones?
Oh, no, I think Mac Jones will be nice for them. I think he takes another step, if anything. Will he ever reach the Herbert or Burrow type of – I don't know. I mean, we saw Brady. Yeah. I mean, his rookie season, not his rookie season because he didn't play, but like his second season, third season, fourth. I mean, he wasn't putting up gaudy numbers all over the place. And like a lot of people were thinking like, yeah, he doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not that like grand prototype you're looking for with first round selection or anything. But we see how his career played out. So Mac Jones, in terms of all the physical prototypes, I guess he doesn't have that, but I don't know. I think he's going to continue to improve. And then adding a receiver like Devante Parker is only going to help, especially with how bad the receiving core has been, not only last year, these last couple of years. They really tried to improve it, but they signed the wrong guys. I mean, you paid Nelson Aguilar a 3-year deal, like 30+ million. Are you kidding me?
He was the one, bro. He was the one. I was just like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you paying Nelson that type of money? Yeah.
Like Jacoby Myers isn't bad, but you need a stud. And Devante Parker, I don't think he's at that stud like prime Julio or AJ Green, AB type of level. Right. A solid receiver. I'd say he's like a top 20, 25 guy in the league. Yeah, now maybe they could draft someone else, but I think this only helps him. There's no way this doesn't, because his cap hit is really affordable. It's only like $6 million. And if things go bad for him, they can cut him and there's no dead cap in it. So this was actually a really good move for the Patriots, I think. They might still have to add another piece, but it doesn't hurt them at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I like the move a lot for the Patriots. For a lot of the reasons that you just said, honestly, Mac Jones, I mean, you need weapons around him. He's a good player. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to lead that team the way they need to be led. But at the same time, you need higher end talent. And Devante Parker, granted, he's not a top 10 level talent. But when you talk about consistency, he is one of those 1,000-yard receiver types. He's a 100+ catch type of guy. And when he is healthy, he's quarterback friendly. I mean, that's why even him playing in Miami, we know, the turmoil that they had in a sense with all the different quarterbacks they've kind of rolled through under Devante being down there. Devante still was a steady contributor. And that's the thing that I do like about him. And also with him going to New England, he's actually going to be in a place where they're legitimately competing. Where in Miami, we heard some of the rumors. We know that every year that Miami has played, it doesn't always look like they're trying to make it into the postseason. Sometimes they look like they're doing the alternative to that. So for Devante, he's going to a place where culturally it's going to be drastically different. So I think that, you get a more inspired version of him, but it also, like I said, helps out Mac Jones in a major way. And it still leaves them with some options in terms of drafting a receiver, because this class is loaded with talent at the wide receiver position. And even though a year ago they did, they brought in weapons, it was more tight ends. It wasn't a ton of proven high-end outside receiver talent, and Devante definitely brings you that. So, yeah, I like that a lot, man. But once again, it just has me thinking, I'm like, man, is this a move that could potentially hurt us down the line? In the sense of, are they a little bit more legitimate now with Devante being there? Because I personally think that this makes them a better team. And if last year, the big knock on them last year was they were limited offensively at times. We knew they could run the ball. We knew they could play good defense. They were smart. They would create turnovers, but their offense wasn't really explosive. Devante adds another element to their offense now, and that's the part for me where I'm just like, God, dog, man, this AFC is getting crazy right now, man.
I already felt like they were in the mix of those, what was it, probably 10, 11, or 12 teams that could all make the playoffs because they did last year. And, like, even though their offseason's been a little weird, like losing some pieces, you were just wondering, like, all right, what? Because they're not in rebuild mode at all.
No,
like, you drafted Mac Jones. He's going to be your franchise guy. But, yeah, getting a dude like Devante Parker now is probably just the start for them of getting back on track to what they were doing last season. Yeah. How do you feel about Mac Jones? Like, you brought him up. You were like, how do you feel about them bringing in Parker? Like, is it really going to make a difference, or do you think Mac Jones is going to limit them? Or do you share a similar sentiment with me where he's going to improve, or do you think he's, like, kind of capped?
Mac is definitely going to improve. Mac is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but Mac protects the ball. And by him protecting the ball and also him not feeling that pressure of, I got to win it with my arm, kind of what we said was the knock on Baker Mayfield at times, right? Baker, it's like, man, just understand you can hand that ball off, and as long as you're winning, it doesn't matter. But he feels like he has to win in a certain way. He has to look a certain way on that field, and that gets him into trouble. Mac Jones, when I watch him, even dating back to him at Alabama, he never gave off that vibe. He never looks like, he's not going to be happy or content winning a game where he doesn't have a ton of pass attempts. We saw him, beat the Buffalo Bills during the regular season with 4 pass attempts. That was very Jimmy G-esque. But in a sense, when you have a quarterback that can operate like that, I think that it really benefits you. And I do think Mac is only going to continue to get better because, like you said, that was year 1 for him. Year 1, and he was playing in a division where you have Buffalo, where, you knew they were going to compete with you. Miami was surprising teams last year, but Mac still was able to lead that team to the postseason. So for me, man, I think that he's definitely going to improve because he's going to be a lot more comfortable. And Bill Belichick is going to feel a lot more comfortable with him now that he's seen him under his, tutelage for a year.
Where do they stand against your Bills for that AFC East?
Oh, come on, man. Buffalo want all the smoke. We ain't tripping. Buffalo is not tripping. Not at all. Not at all. So for me, man, I still think Buffalo gets it done in that AFC East. I just think that no different than last year. It was a tough race last year, right? Granted, Buffalo had got out to a nice start, but towards the middle part of the season, New England, remember, they made their move for that, and it came down to it. I think it was 1 or 2 games in between them, but the better team, of course, showed what they were supposed to do. And then in that glorious rematch in Orchard Park in that super wild card round, we saw what it really looked like. So I think we'll just repeat process and run it back. That's just the energy in Buffalo right now. Can't complain with that at all. Can't complain with that.
So you see Patriots more on the wild card?
Yeah, I do. But even though I still don't think, as great as Buffalo played last year at times, they still struggled, and that's why they didn't get the 1 seed. So I can see a scenario where Buffalo still has to play in that wild card round. I just think that Buffalo's always going to be hosting. They're going to be in that 2, 3, at worst 4th range. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Anything else on this one?
If you're Miami, you're still feeling good. Because you already have your Tyreek Hill, you got your Jalen Waddle, and now
they signed Cedric Wilson too.
Yeah, and you also, like I said, you're getting was it the 2nd round pick we said for Devante as well for this year part of it, not next year for this year's part. So you're getting another.
No. They're giving up a 5th rounder and Devante. They're getting a 3rd rounder for next year, so they don't have an extra pick
Okay, so
year.
No extra pick this year. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess Devante was disgruntled already. I just wonder would he have been a fit for us? Like, should we have considered that? Or I'm sure a lot of other teams are saying that, like, seeing what a person goes for, it's like, should our team have made that move? It was only a 3rd round pick next year.
That is
portable contract.
Interesting. What's his cap hit? Because his cap hit was relatively cool. Yeah,
$6 million these next 2 years, and the dead cap is 0. So like if he gets injured again and stuff, because that is the one knock against him is he's always been injured.
Hurt. He's been hurt. Yeah, I like him when
he's out there. He's good though. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like him a lot when he's healthy. For me, man, I probably would have passed on him just because of the injury history, and I would much rather, if I'm taking a flyer on a veteran that has a little bit of injury history, I would much rather
both years.
I would much rather spend a little bit more on a Julio, AJ Green, a T.Y. Hilton type, and just run my risk with those guys because I feel like the money's going to be similar. None of those guys are getting paid, 10 plus right now because of where they're in their career, right? So you would hope, or it's hard to say. I just would much rather pay a little bit more for those caliber guys than giving up the draft pick, and because for us we didn't have a 5th round pick, so we're looking at what, a 4th round pick potentially. Or a 6th round? I just don't know how that looks.
So hold on. So Dolphins. So we'd be getting the 5th round pick from the Dolphins.
The 5th, and
they gave Devante and the 5th we'd be giving up the third for next
the third
year.
round. Okay. Yeah, so giving up the third, definitely don't want to do that then. Yeah, I'm cool on that. And the wide receiver class is deep to me. So I would much rather go and get a younger guy with that third round pick, or like I said, spend a little bit more money on a more proven higher end free agent dude. You know, maybe not 6 mil, maybe it's 7 or 8. But I just think that those guys is, you know, they're a little bit more proven. And their talent is a little bit more high end because we're taking a risk. I mean, it's still a risk with Devante because he hasn't been the most healthy guy. So you're still taking a risk on him. But for me, I would just rather hedge my bet on a higher end risk than Devante right now for that cost.
I like that thought. And that's another topic that we got going later.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else on this. I think it was a good move for the Patriots. Dolphins.
No, I like it for them, man.
I wonder if they could have got more, and it's weird they traded him in division too.
I know.
They disrespecting Devante like that.
They said, bro, we ain't worried about you. We can see you twice a year. It's whatever. Dog. Yeah, that was definitely pretty interesting.
Especially Belichick too.
Yeah.
Belichick has seen enough tape on Devante Parker where he's probably like, bro, yeah, we could use him here. I could see a fit for him. For the Dolphins just to do that, that's crazy.
Well, and I would say the Patriot killer isn't even there anymore. Brian Flores, he was the reason why the Dolphins were beating the Patriots. He's not there no more. So, hey, man.
They're confident in their new squad. McDaniels, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson. You got Tua.
We gonna see.
Yeah, I think it was a good move for the Patriots. I do. I just don't know if the Dolphins could have got more or not. I don't know what Devante Parker's market was because obviously they were going to have to get rid of him at some point. That's my only question. Could they have gotten a second rounder? I guess not. I mean, especially whenever we're talking about Julio Jones and some of these other receivers still being out there. All right, you don't have to give a pick, and you could probably sign them just for a couple million more.
Yep.
Makes sense then.